Welcome to Quakecast, the podcast for id Software's classic Quake and the games it inspired. Hello, Quakers, and welcome back to the Quakecast. We've got another episode today. We don't have a special guest, but we have, obviously, our special contributor, Greenwood, who has been on a few of the more recent episodes recommending vanilla maps that are worth your attention. So I'm assuming everyone's kind of sheltering in place and staying at home and avoiding this coronavirus, and we're in the same boat. So hopefully this will give you some maps to kind of check out. And we're also going to dish about the community and what's going on in the community. There's a couple events going on. There are some rumors of things happening, and a bunch of shout outs to people from the Quake Mapping Discord who are showing off some really stellar screenshots of their work. So even though it's a little quiet in the Quake scene right now, there's a lot of work being done and some big releases that are on the horizon. One last thing before we begin. This was recorded a couple weeks ago. So Greenwood's map has already been released. I'll have a link to that in the show notes. And we're releasing this right before April 1st, which is the scheduled release date for the Jokejam. So without further ado, here's Greenwood's Scoops. Hi, Greenwood. How are you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you doing?
Good. I'm doing all right. I'm doing okay. So we've got an episode filled with some scoops, and you've definitely. I got a chance to play these maps. I'm super excited to talk about them. So, what is your first scoop of the week?
Okay, so the first scoop of the week is from a author by the name of Tony Boyer. His towards the end, he went by the moniker Frogger. So the first map is from Tony Frogger Boyer, and it's called Staging Point. It's from 1997, and it's a base-themed map. It's a like a medium-sized map. I'd say it's good medium-size, maybe like on the smaller end. As far as enemy count, it's 53 enemies on easy, 57 on normal, and 62 on hard. And he's had several other maps under his belt. Mostly he did a lot of deathmatch maps in the past. As far as single player maps goes, he had a couple of base maps, this being one of them. And he also had some metal theme maps, and they both had the prefix of blister. He had like a blister 1 and a blister 2. But I picked this one as his best vanilla map out of his exploits or what have you. And it's just it's a really cool, clean base map. It's got some really interesting kind of chunky brushwork. Some nice variety of textures per room, very subtle little changes. So this way, when you're playing the map, the rooms vary a little by little. I know a lot of people, when they play base maps, they complain about, all the rooms looking the same. What he did is I looked at the notes. He modified a lot of the textures from the original Quake and both expansion packs, Armagon and DOE. So he did some little subtle changes, and he said in the notes that this level is slated for use in the upcoming Quake World's total conversion project. So he wanted to do like a TC type deal. He said after new Quake C and models are added. So he had this map in mind, and he did another base map called Ozarm, which if you play this map and you like it, I would say to also check out that one as well. I didn't think it was as polished as this one was. There's a little bit of an ammo balance issue, but it's actually it's a lot of fun as well. But this one I thought this one was really cool. The way he did it. If you look at the opening scene with some of the architecture of the roof and some of the beam work, It also has really cool moving machinery gimmicks that you might have noticed when you played the map.
Yeah, definitely.
Well, like, you go into one room and you'll see the key on one end of the room, and then you get up to a certain platform, and all of a sudden, like, the thing comes over on a conveyor belt. There's another room where you walk into it, you kind of grenade or you bust some heads, and then all of a sudden, like, these mechanics come out, trapdoors open, and then these arms come up and remove plates and expose a key.
Yeah, that
They're,
was really impressive. That was the thing that jumped out at me. I was like, wow, that's very cool. You don't see a lot of that, and it immediately was like, okay, how do you do that? How did he do that? Okay, yeah, that sounds good.
it's always cool when you play an old map and it does some stuff, and you're like, how, you kind of stop and you scratch your head. It's like, how did he do that exactly?
Right,
It's like,
exactly.
I know you can go up and you can go down, but how did you go up, down, out, and about? It's like,
Right.
that was really quite clever. He also has, in one particular part of the map, he's got like a busted pipe that he uses, that he employs like a trigger push, like a wind tunnel that kind of spits you out into another part of the map, and you get like a little miniature ambush. And I just thought it was really quite, slickly done. As far as, did I go over like the enemy count?
Yeah, I believe you did.
Yeah, so it's it's between 53 to 62 depending on the skill set. And I don't know, what did you think about the map?
Well, a lot of what you said, I think it's a cool little map. It's kind of almost a bite-sized map in some ways because you can kind of breeze through it. I love the brushwork at the top and throughout. Although the only issue is you get this kind of beginner mapper syndrome. Although this is not his first map, but you definitely I got stuck on the geometry a couple times. I was like, dang it. But those movers and all the little clever things he added to it, like I said, like be looking for the gold key. It's really kind of an impressive little thing. Especially, this is a map that mappers need to play for sure. Anyone who's mapping should play this map. My only critiques were like getting caught on geo, and then it was a touch easy because I usually play everything on normal. So if it's easy for me, then it's probably way easy. But it's definitely a good one for aspiring mappers to take a look at.
Yeah, and then one thing I noticed, and it, because it didn't list that there was any secrets, but
Right.
if you notice when you played the map, and there's almost like kind of like two mysteries to this map. There was in one section there was a red armor up on the rafters, and I'm still wondering how the heck do you get to that sucker? Because I looked all over the map trying to figure out how do you get to it. And then I don't know if you noticed it, but when you play the level, at least on normal anyway, there's like one enemy that's not killed.
Yeah.
And
I noticed that.
I went through the map. I'm like, there's no fish. And also I have the fish fix in my particular build, and I'm like, where is that? Where is that sucker? But it could be, just some simple, could be like, just one of those weird gremlins or what have you.
Yeah, I thought maybe a grunt might have fallen in water or something. I just assumed that was the deal. It's like, oh, I missed somebody.
Yeah.
I don't know where they are.
But yeah, but that's I believe that's his the best vanilla map that he ever made. It's a really neat one, and I mean just the mechanics alone is worth checking it out. And then one other note I read in there, it said when he was mapping, he was just as a little point of curiosity, he was working for the U.S. Navy as an avionics technician, first class.
Nice.
So it looked like from the notes and from what I could gauge, he was doing some mapping, and then once he got out of the military, he kind of like went on to different avenues in life, and that's basically it as far as that first map goes.
Excellent. So now next up.
Yeah. So the next this map is from Benson L. Magoo. I tell you, I get a kick out of some of these monikers here. Benson L. Magoo Russell, and it's called the Keljoran Outpost, and it also comes from 1997. And it's a small medieval map. 55 enemies on easy, and actually it's 55 enemies. Period. There's no difficulty setting variances at all. And there's one secret, and it's a medieval map again with a little bit of everything. There's some nail traps, a little section of platforming, some lava traps, your typical ambushes. You got pretty much a little bit of everything out of the fantasy bestiary, except I don't recall if there was any spawns, but I think most people will be happy with that. And there's even like the typical, the stereotypical zombie dungeon.
Mm-hmm.
And I just thought it was a nice little pocket-sized medieval map. It had some kind of like, I guess you'd say maybe like semi-spiraling staircases that went up and down in different parts of the map. It had some pretty clean texture work, some nice supporting beam, semi-arch kind of bits here and there throughout the map. And there was, some uses of teleportation to navigate around the map, but I don't think it was overdone. And one interesting tidbit, and I caught this from also, I was checking out another video that somebody had posted online that analyzed the map, was that the map is named after a Magic the Gathering card, which I'm like, that's kind of, I guess, interesting. It might be to some people. I never got into that kind of stuff, but
I would never have known.
it's neither did I. But I never was a big D&D kind of guy. But it kind of fits with a medieval level. And what did you think of this one?
Well, I played this one, and I died right at the ending. And I was like, no, I'm not going to replay this. I'm not going to. I mean, I didn't dislike it. It was a good level. It's fun. It's definitely fun. I did not find the secret. So maybe I should replay it and try to get 100% it. I think I like some of my notes where I liked the mechanics of the 3 locks on the door. I think that's something that's unique to this map. I haven't seen a whole lot of, where, you've got, it's a gold key door, and I'm presuming it's the exit, but you have to keep coming back, right? Or you don't have to. You don't keep coming back, but you have to travel to different areas of the map to unlock those 3 keys.
Yeah, you have that. You have that main room that's kind of like almost like the hub.
Yeah, and I like that. I like seeing your destination, before you go and get deep into the action.
And then I know what you're talking about. You have those barrier bars that kind of slide across. Right. So when you accomplish one section of the map, then one bar will, move, will be removed, and it's almost like, you have to just eventually get, past. Oh, so you died right at the end?
Right at the ending. Yeah. Oh, I looked at the monster count, and I think I was not paying attention to my health, and I died. I'm like, okay, I'm not playing that again, because I didn't save. I usually save scum, but spam. I mean, I thought there were some really good traps in there, some good platforms, and I'm a fan of backtracking in my levels. I don't always do it, but I thought the backtracking in this was well done for such an old map.
Yeah, it's he did a pretty decent job, doing some repopulation. Mm-hmm. So, because that's one thing, because you do kind of work it out like almost like fingers of a glove. You kind of go out into one finger and then work your way back. And as far as you said, you didn't find the secret. I did not find it the first playthrough myself. But I'm just gonna, and that's gonna be like a little hint for those out there that will give this a looky-loo. Is when you go into the zombie dungeon area, make sure you inspect the cells, the jail cells where the zombies reside. And then just look around, see if you can find a shootable button. Let's just say,
Oh,
because you'll get
that's
a.
not a hint.
Well, I don't know. I
That's a
don't.
spoiler.
I'm sorry. Then you can just cut that part out of the interview.
Nah, I'm just teasing. I'm teasing.
I'm just saying, if anybody out there is like, huh. Anyway, well, spoiler, and I apologize.
No, I'm teasing. I'm teasing.
But yeah, it is what it is. It's a nice little. I thought it was kind of a neat little medieval map, and it was cleanly done. And then yes, once you accomplish your little side missions, it'll open up that exit door, and then you got your final little boss battle, and there you go.
Nice. All right, moving on to the next one that I was all hot to talk about.
And then the last map, because I didn't want to just do strictly older maps. I wanted to get a little bit of I want to get some old with the new, or rather new with the old. And the last map is from Peter, and I'm hoping I got this right. Hrimfaxi Sorensen. And if you I'm gonna go ahead and spell it out there. It's HRIMFAXI, and I believe I'm hoping it goes by. I'm hoping that you're supposed to say Hrimfaxi. He's got a ton of maps. I would categorize him as a veteran mapper. If you go on Quidicted, you'll see there's quite a bit of maps from him. And I thought the best vanilla map that he made was a map called Sewage Devastation from 2006. Again, the Hrimfaxi's done a whole slew of maps. He's probably best known as a Rubicon Rumble Pack, one of the mappers from the Rubicon Rumble Pack. He did the map A Locust in August, which is a fantastic map. But it's as you can tell by the name Sewage Devastation, we have a sewer level, and it's a healthy medium size. When I say healthy, it's it's getting almost kind of close towards medium to large. Healthy size map, lots of green brick. It's a very, you can almost call it like the booger level. It's a very green map. 66 enemies on easy, 101 on normal, and 127 on hard.
Jeez.
With 7 secrets, and again a lot of green brick, many pipes, as you would imagine on a sewer level, and of course lots and lots of water, and some cool solenoid pumps. I'm sure you probably noticed that when you were going through the level. You got the one like pump house kind of section of the map. One thing I noticed, and I'm like, oh, that kind of stinks. No music.
Yeah, I thought that was weird.
No music for that level, but it's a pretty darn neat map. I mean, you start off, you work your way up, round and about. There's some areas where you have to do some diving, navigate through some fish to press some buttons and continue with the progression. He's from Denmark, Hrimfaxi, from what I could tell from the email. So now going back with the conversation that we started at the beginning of this series, we got, again, even more international flair.
That's right.
And and then one thing before I'll let you talk about it as well is that I wanted to mention, besides Rubicon Rumble Pack. Yeah, one thing I would also suggest for those out there that like this map, which it's a very well done map, is you might want to also check out his 1,000 Brush / Winter Map Pack map, because it's a really nice snowy scene castle type map, and it's a lot of fun. So, but really. Again, this guy knows what he's doing. If you check out any of his older maps, you're gonna have a blast playing his stuff. But I thought this one in particular was, as far as, again, being vanilla scoops, I thought this was was probably his best his best vanilla product.
Yeah, I mean, I've certainly not played all of his maps, but I played Rubicon Rumble Pack of Locust. Um, and I'm looking at his site. He's the old site here, man. He has scores of maps. It looks like scores because he has a lot of speed maps too. Dozens maybe. But yes, I love this map. I loved it. It has a great sense of place. I'm always a sucker for any kind of booger, green, moldy, brick maps. Big fan of E1M3 Necropolis. So any map that looks like that is going to catch my attention. I love his use of wood textures and the wood structures towards the end, especially.
Yeah.
Some really nice, really good gameplay and monster encounters. Like I was really impressed by the gameplay. And I'm obviously not surprised. The combat setup were great. I got 4 out of 7 secrets, and I usually don't revisit maps, but I'm going to revisit this map because it was a fun, it's a good, I don't want to say textbook map. There's, there's a lower area with zombies in the water, and, everybody's got to get that out of their system at one point. So you see a lot of that, but it was still fun. Doesn't mean it's not fun,
Well, who doesn't like Jib and zombies,
Right. Exactly. So, I want to know, and I haven't watched your demo yet. Did you get the mega health?
At the beginning?
Yeah, towards the beginning, there's a mega health. I could not get that, and it was so funny. I'm glad I didn't record this, but I got down to 1 health. I kept jumping. I was doing a ramp jump on those lights, trying to get to the mega health. And I'm like, how do you get over there? And I got down to 1 health.
Okay, because you kept getting fall damage.
Exactly. I kept falling like more than 250.
Then at one point you're thinking, this is really counterproductive here.
Oh yeah, it took me. I got a little obsessed there, and I got down to 1 health. I thought, well, man, let me just here's a good idea. Let me go through that key door and see if there's any monsters on the other side.
If I recall correctly, because I've played the map before. Because you are correct. One thing about Harem Faxi's maps is the gameplay is fun. And then that's one thing that I really would like to bring up is, there's maps that are pretty, and then there's maps that are fun, and then if you get, the really beautiful part is when you have both. You got a really aesthetically pleasing map, and it's fun to play. Because I've played some maps that honestly are kind of, homely. But, you'll go back to them because they were just a blast to play. And I think I recall playing this map before and getting the Mega Health secret. And it was actually one of those things where, like, once you figure out how to get to it, you're like, oh, God, I feel like a dummy. But what if I'm recalling that correctly, I didn't remember how to do it. Because when I did this playthrough, I think I tried once or twice, or I think maybe with the playthrough, because it wasn't the first. I think I sent you, I always try to send you a playthrough where I don't die, because, I try to do it in one shot.
Yeah.
I think what it is when I finally recorded the playthrough to send to you, I just said, oh, the heck with this. And I just kept going because I knew it was one of those ones where you can spend like 5 minutes just trying to get to the mega health. It's almost like the dangling carrot, you get obsessed.
It was damning. I was like, I'm going to find a way. I know I could do this.
Yeah.
And I even thought those little kind of 45-degree angle lights, I thought he did this for a reason. I'm going to ramp jump it and see if I can get up it. Anyway, so great level. I'd say any mapper listening or watching this should definitely check this map out, and probably all of this guy's maps. Remifaxi.
Yeah.
Remifaxi.
Yep.
We probably butchered it, but we tried.
Well, I'm sure if you're from Denmark, you're like, oh, come on, it's so easy. But I mean, for me being as cultured as most Americans are, I'm probably not doing it justice. But his maps are I would say this one, the Winter Map Pack one, of course the Rubicon Rumble. I mean, honestly, even if you start digging in through some of his speed maps, those are like really nicely done and fun.
Oh, yeah. Yep.
So yeah, if you want to just look at his maps, just the way he combines monsters, just monster attacks, and setting them up, they're fun maps,
Yeah,
and that's the thing,
definitely.
I can't stress it enough. I'll pull up a map. I'm like, whoa, this map is gorgeous, but it's like, what was the most fun part of the map? It was pretty.
Yeah, yeah,
But
exactly.
it's like it's you always got to keep them. If you can set up some fun gameplay, that's gonna really have some that's gonna be make it a memorable level. And this is a neat level. And also I don't think I've ever discussed a sewer level yet. So I definitely had to throw that one in.
Yeah, there's a lot of sewer levels, but I don't get tired of them personally. I don't mind.
Yeah. Well, there was the one I was in a while back with that Yoder, McLoganog, ran the sewer map pack, and so yeah, if you like sewer maps, check that one out because it's nothing but sewer maps.
Yeah, that was a good one. I
Yeah.
played those. Cool. Well, what else is happening in your Quake world? Tell us about, or do you want to tell us about your most recent project?
No, I think I mentioned it before. I'm working on actually doing wrapping up a medieval map myself, and I hope to have it out. Depending on when this comes out, it might already be out. I hope to release it on St. Patrick's Day, and it's a huge map as far as enemy count. I mean, I haven't set all the skill settings down yet, but right now I'm about 197 enemies.
Whoa.
And it's yeah, well it's a large castle map. Finally got a really nice skybox for it because it's a gigantic. I mean, I literally have this castle contained within like a 4,095 Quake unit cube. So I think I've pretty much maxed out the standard BSP limit. And it's a big it's a big castle level with you got towers and you go inside the map and draw bridges and rooms. I even have a round table room. It's lots of there's some platforming and there's stairs and elevators and you got of course tons of fantasy beasts roaming around coming to kill you. And yeah, so yeah, it's by the time this is probably wrapped up and put out, yeah, download it. So it's I haven't quite settled on the name, but I'm kind of leaning towards the map name Castle Zanthu.
Zanthu. There
Yeah,
you go.
yeah.
Cool.
I've been kind of looking into using Lovecraftian lore in map names because why not? It's
Of course.
yeah.
Yeah. The Nameless City.
There
All
you
that
go.
stuff. Very cool. Well, what else could we chat about? You have any other observations from the Quake community or gaming in general? I put you on the spot.
No, you didn't put me on the spot. I'm just trying to think here. Give me a second. Well, one thing that we can look forward to is we have the upcoming Jokejam
Yeah.
that I believe Zungriware was wrangling up here. That should probably release on April Fool's Day. I'm gathering. Looking at the deadline.
Yeah.
Were you contributing a map yourself?
No, I don't have any time to map right now. I'm just juggling so many things. But the Progs dump. I did a kind of a custom updated Progs dump dev kit for it.
Oh, okay. Yep.
So yeah, because they decided to use that, and there was a couple of little features like custom keys that I wanted to get out there because I figured people could use like a fish as a key or whatever. You can use anything as a key in that version of Prog's Dump. It's really, really tight. So I figured that might be worth having in there.
Yeah, I've got a map for that jam as well, and I did use. I've got I used one of your custom skin keys. I've got a red key in my map, and I figured out how to, because it was nice that you added a kind of like a how-to map in your development kit,
Mm-hmm.
and yeah, it was pretty cut and dry. It worked out well.
Yeah.
I thought it was neat how you had like you do like a purple key or a red key or I think the white one you called like ghost keys.
Right. I put a little alpha channel on there. That was
Yeah.
just one of those things. I'm like, I'm going to make it, call it a ghost key. Oh yeah, let's do the alpha. Those are things that you could do depending on any game engine. You basically with anything. If you use Quake Spasm or popular source port, it should work. And if it doesn't work, it's not going to break the map.
Oh, okay. So you're saying it literally had some transparency to it. That's
Yeah.
okay. I thought
yeah.
like it was just one of those things you called the white one the ghost key.
Yeah, no, it's subtle, but I kind of put the alpha lower than 1, and that'll work in, like I say, like in any modern source port.
I gotcha.
You could add that in vanilla if you wanted to.
And then I gather like in case that your particular source port doesn't support that, it'll just default to like a white.
Yeah, it'll be opaque.
So it'll
and I'm saying that, and I haven't tested it, but I'm pretty sure that's right.
Fingers crossed, eh?
Yeah, fingers crossed. Sorry, let me just spread some misinformation out there. I'm pretty sure that's the case.
Yeah. No, so I got a map already lined up for that as well. And hopefully we'll see. I mean, I'm looking at some of the posts in Discord. It looks like there's going to be quite a few entries. It'll be interesting to see what people produce. I see some people out there are doing kind of like Minecraft inspired maps and all kinds of it's a joke jam, so who knows what's going to happen.
I see some clowns in here too, and some items on the ceiling. It's like Ziggy put some items on the ceiling. I just noticed that. I'm like, wait a minute.
Oh, Ziggy, he showed me a couple screenshots. I'm not going to talk too much. I'm not going to release the cat out of the bag, but yeah, he's got some interesting stuff lined up. It looked pretty cool. He sent me one screenshot, and just the color combinations and the way it was laid out, it looked really neat. And I think Zungryware had like 2 maps. So I mean there's 4 maps already right there, between the 3 of us, and I'm sure there's going to be lots. Oh, and you can almost guarantee that Nolcause or Nolcos, he's going to have one in there because he already that's kind of like his wheelhouse. He always has very clever, interesting, almost bizarre kind of. I think at one point when he had one map that came out that was almost like a Mr. Toad's Wild Ride type map. I think I put in like Quaddicted. I think I put him down as like being the David Lynch of mappers. I'm like,
yeah, that's very accurate. Actually, it's a great way to put it.
He had God. It was so bizarre. I'm like, I don't think we've ever had a. I'm like that. That was different, but I mean, it was fun. Don't get me wrong. It was really cool. So I'm sure. I think when I saw one screenshot, he was doing something with a custom skin, and I'm not going to talk too much about it. But it went to. He was channeling some pop culture references. It should be pretty interesting. It should. I'm looking forward to that one, and I'm trying to think if there's. Do you know of any other jams coming up offhand?
No, it's a little quiet on that front. The last speed map was 206, and I haven't seen anything come up. And I was actually even tempted to kind of call something and like, but I don't have time. I don't have time right now. I wish I did. I wish I did. There's always you have way too many ideas and not enough time. And I haven't mapped in a couple weeks, months. I don't know, maybe a month. So I haven't really fired up level editor for a while. Just kind of focusing on well, with the exception of test levels for Quake C. So I'm always doing that, but that's nothing. That's just a box with things in it.
Sure.
So yeah, so I'm hankering to get back to mapping,
Well,
but
I think
I'm not sure when that's going to happen.
I think what has happened this year is a lot of people are kind of like producing more standalones. I know
that's good.
I know. Well, yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I know some of the folks that were producing that were pretty much in every speed map session. I think there was some. I think there was just a general consensus. Some of these folks got to the point where like, yeah, I think I got enough experience under my belt. It's time for me to start putting out some standalone individual releases. And yeah, I mean, there was, I know at the beginning of the year, there was about like 4 or 5 that were just like back to back, bam, 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 individual releases. I think from what I saw here and there on Discord, I think Comrade Beep has got another really neat looking AD base map coming up pretty soon. I don't know if you've seen some of the screenshots.
I have.
Yeah, that last one he did was really sharp, and it looks like it's in the same kind of similar vein, but it had some. Looks like this next one's got some Doom 3 textures that have been better edited, and it looks like it's going to be really cool. So yeah, and then
Heresy's working on something too. I've seen. Let's see who else is working on stuff. There's a lot of people doing stuff. A lot of new faces, new names. Void Force is kind of playing around with stuff. Tal _com. Let's see who else is doing stuff. Canadian Warship. He's doing just kind of his first couple maps there.
I just got done playing his second one. It was kind of neat. Yeah, he's doing some. He's putting stuff out and he's getting better. So look out.
Remarath is another person that's mapping.
Oh, is that the one that was working on
stuff?
Yeah, that those look nice.
Yeah, they're really nice.
I think they are.
Oh, Kane is also working on something new too. That he's always great.
I think Remarath was coming from the Doom community.
Mm-hmm.
So that
Mortal Max has a really huge kind of city thing he's working on.
Yeah, I saw that too. So yeah, there should be some.
And JCR too. JCR is posting some shots too. So all kinds of stuff going on. Pritchard is working on stuff. Yeah, well, there's. I think we're in a little lull because people are working. So there's a contingent working on Jokejam, and then there's all these individual releases. Mm-hmm. So it's all good. It's good stuff. It's all going to be good.
Yeah. So yeah, it's kind of like the quiet before the storm.
Over here on Funk Message Board, there's a lot. I mean, I hadn't been there in a couple of days, and it seems like a lot of posts and things going on. So it's quiet in some ways and noisy in others. So
I was texting with Sock the other day because I haven't heard from him in a while, and he's mentioned something that there's been some buzz that there might be some kind of a Quoth appreciation type deal. Because he was mentioning to me it was actually about the whole vanilla scoops. He's like, you might want to, down the road, talk about some Quoth maps, because there might be like some kind of a Quoth jam or some kind of a Quoth whatever. Have you heard about that at all, or no?
I have heard nothing of that.
Which would be kind of cool. You don't hear much about, I haven't heard about, Quoth in a while. So that'd be...
Well, one thing I can say is I know that there's something going on with Quoth, and I don't know if it's going to be a new release, an update. I mean, I know that's kind of been discussed in certain circles. So I would, but as far as like a jam having to do with it, I don't know.
I'm trying to think if he said jam or maybe it was just like I don't know, or appreciation type deal.
Like a tribute
Yeah.
or what have you. Yeah.
I mean, there's a lot of if you dig through Quiddicted, there's some really good Quoth maps out there.
Oh yeah.
So
Definitely. Jam 9, man. Jam 9's amazing.
yeah.
And not my map. I had a map in there that has some fun stuff, but the rest of the maps are all amazing in that. So yeah, cool. Well, hey, listen, another episode of Quakecast with Greenwood is always a good thing. So there's all kinds of stuff going on in the community, and people seem to be responding really well to Vanilla Scoop. So just keep doing it.
All right. Sounds like a plan.
That's it for this episode of the Quakecast. Just want to say thanks for hanging in there, and we'll be back with a special guest, Michael Markey of Markey Music, in our next episode. Stay tuned for that.